Hello everybody, my name is SaBrina Fisher Reece, and I'd like to talk to you today about beliefs. Many of us believe we know what we believe, but in actuality, we have adopted many subconscious belief systems that come from our parents, our culture. For example, my biological mother is an insulin-dependent diabetic who is 90% blind. I used to believe that I was destined to be a diabetic and destined to go blind. I now know that I don't have to accept that belief. I now know that had I continued to accept that belief, I probably would have become an insulin-dependent blind diabetic. We have to pay attention to what we are accepting in our mind, in our conscious mind and in our subconscious mind. Because, for instance, I know you have many people in your lives, sometimes you'll talk to them and you'll realize that they have a poverty mindset. Not that poverty does not exist in the world, but if you believe that you are supposed to be poor, that in order to be a good Christian you have to be poor, that money is bad, and you believe that sincerely in your heart, mind, and soul, then that will be your reality. I personally believe in abundance, so abundance happens in my life. I am very grateful for that. But you have to be careful about what you believe. And you have to actually take some time and spend with your mind, as I always say, and ask yourself, what do I believe? I used to believe my father and my mother were addicts, alcoholics, drug addicts. So I used to believe that if I even took a simple glass of wine, that I would be destined to become an alcoholic. That is not the truth. I control my life, and it starts with our mind. I could enjoy a glass of wine without becoming an alcoholic down the way, but you have to ask yourself, what do I believe? And recognize that you can change those beliefs. I now know that I am not destined to become any of those things. I used to talk to someone as well that was very young and abused alcohol, and he believed that he was destined to die of the same alcohol-related disease that his father died from. And if he does not change that belief, the chances of him actually manifesting that into his life are great. So please take some time and recognize, what do I believe? Do I believe that I'm supposed to be poor because my parents were poor? Do I believe that I'm destined to have cancer because my parents had cancer, my grandmother had cancer, my father had cancer? Change your beliefs. Because most of us don't even realize the ones that we have accepted and adopted. I learned about the belief system from reading a book by Don Miguel Ruiz called The Four Agreements. So a lot of these things we have subconsciously agreed to, and we can change those agreements. I now know and I believe that I am determined and destined to be somebody great. I believe that God has had his hand in my life from day one. Even when I didn't realize I was great, I was great. I now believe in abundance. Not that there aren't different times in our lives when our finances aren't where we would desire them to be, but you still have to believe. The Bible said, believe it as if you have already received it. So focus was put on belief from the beginning of time. This is not a new age concept. It is very important what you believe. If you believe you're going to get that college degree, you will get it. If you believe you're driving down the street and you're going to get pulled over by the police, it's probably going to happen. So be careful what you believe and realize that you can change your beliefs. I now have wonderful, great belief systems despite my past, despite me used to once believing in generational curses that I was destined to become everything that my parents before me were. I now know that that is not true. I now believe that I will live a long, beautiful life and see my children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren grow up and graduate from college. I now believe that I will have prosperity, abundance, and most importantly, very, very good health. I believe that. I want you to ask yourself, what do you believe? This is SaBrina Fisher Reece. You have a wonderful day.